Hey everybody, Shoebox Legends here. Thanks for joining me for another episode today. This is going to be a little bit of a mishmash episode, taking care of some housekeeping and touching on a few different things related to the collection. I've got a surprise card that arrived that was very, very thoughtful from a YouTuber that you all know. I have a new Alex Ovechkin card to show off as he scored a goal last week for the Capitals. And then I have, I think, 3 new pickups that have come in recent weeks in the mail that I'm going to show off that are pretty unique and cool singles. So we'll start with the surprise card. So got an envelope in the mail last week, completely out of the blue, was not expecting it, and recognized from the sender address that it was from my buddy RJ over at RJ Collects Sets. I'm sure all of you are familiar with RJ and his great channel, his weekly trivia. But I will leave a link below if you're not, and definitely encourage you to visit him. He is one of the good guys in the hobby, in this community. So the note here says, Shane, just got done your February 7th video highlighting the Naturals Griffey insert from the 90s. That was one of the cards that I picked up in a sale that Mike, the baseball card dude, had on his channel. Seems like you really like that card style. Yes, indeed, I do. Seems to me then that this Randy Johnson belongs in one of your Z folios where it will get some love rather than sitting in an old shoebox at my house. Treat it well, sir. I know you will. Enjoy, RJ at RJ Collects Sets. So awesome handwritten note. Thank you, RJ. And here is the card. Really cool. I mean, just another example of RJ's generosity, you know, taking the time to view my content, remembering that I commented on a certain card that I really liked the design of, and then sending me another example of that card just out of the blue because he is a kind guy. So really, really appreciate RJ. These look fantastic. Obviously touched on these when I showed the Griffey, but they feature that great Dufex foil technology that Pinnacle was known for in the 90s that represented, you know, some of my favorite cards in the 90s. I'm just a sucker for Dufex. I think that looks really, really good. And Randy Johnson is, to me, like a top 10 pitcher of all time, possibly. Really, really good player. So happy to have that. You are dead on, RJ. That absolutely will be going into a shiny baseball Z folio. In fact, I'll probably put it side by side with the Griffey, since you were so kind to send it and make a note of that. And they'll be Z folio brothers, so to speak. So thank you, RJ. And again, link below if you have not been by to check out RJ Collects Sets. Can't recommend it enough. Just super friendly guy. Amazing collection of Mike Schmidt and sets and all kinds of other baseball oddities. And just all around an awesome dude, as evidenced by that totally out of nowhere Randy Johnson. So thank you, RJ. Moving on now to Alex Ovechkin. He had another goal last week after a little bit of a period of quiet from him over the preceding days. Did get back on the scoreboard, and so I need to show another Ovi as per my pledge to show a new card of number 8 every time he scores this year, and selected this one off the stack today. This is the Premier O-Pee-Chee Platinum card of Ovechkin. So this is the 2014 O-Pee-Chee Platinum release, the first year that Upper Deck did the set, and this is his base card. So these are, I've talked about this set many times, and I think a lot of you are familiar with the release, but these are sort of like the Topps Chrome in the world of hockey. So they parallel the regular O-Pee-Chee set, but they're released in Chrome. And I shouldn't use the word parallel. It is a unique standalone set that comes out every year from the folks at Upper Deck, but it is done on that chromium cardstock. They look fantastic, and went ahead and picked up that base Alex Ovechkin find with superstar players that their base cards in Chrome seem to do pretty well as time goes by, so I wanted to snag that inaugural O-Pee-Chee Platinum for the OV collection while prices were still reasonable and get that into the Z folio. I have a couple of variations of this card coming in future episodes that are really special, but since last night's goal really wasn't, you know, a significant milestone or anything like that, or last week's goal, I should say, just decided that was a good one to pull out today. So that'll be going into the OV Z folio at the conclusion of the episode. And now I just want to show 3 recent pickups that I've made, singles for my collection, which is how I spend the majority of my hobby fund is hunting singles. So the first one I am really excited about working on my goal of completing a run of retired Legends short prints from 2011, all in Cognac Diamond Anniversary parallels, and finally found one that I've been after a long time, Ryan Sandberg, and really pumped about this one. For the longest time, there just wasn't a reasonably priced copy of this out there. These cognacs are really starting to dry up. They're over 10 years old now, and I think a lot of people hang on to these because they're just beautiful looking cards. And Sandberg is one of the final names that I need to complete my run. Held off for the longest time because there was like 2 copies out there, one on ComC, one on eBay, and I think they were both more than $20, which is just, I suppose if I got down to it at the end and it was the only thing holding me up from completing the project, I may have eventually done that. But I just felt like, with a little bit of patience, I could probably do better than that. And that proved to be the case. So that one popped up at auction with a starting bid of 99 cents and was able to take that one home for the Cognac PC for $6 and change. So definitely saved myself, close to $15 just from being patient and not rushing it and needing to add that one to my set. So I know I have one other on the way in the mail that hasn't shown up yet, and then I've got to do a tally, but I think I'm getting very, very close to completing that Cognac run. And if and when that happens, which is one of my major goals for this collecting year, I will certainly do an entire episode where we look at all 70 plus of those. So keep an eye out for that, hopefully in the near future. Next up, we have another hockey card, and then we'll go back to baseball to finish it off. This is from the Allure release, the first ever Allure release that came out in 2019. A player that I enjoy collecting that is criminally underpriced, Leon Draisaitl. Check this card out. It is die cut. It is so shiny, and it is numbered out of 99 copies on the back. Clearly labeled parallels in the Allure release. This is the green quartz from the 2019 set. And so just like the Ovechkin in the background here, kind of part of the reason I chose that card, it goes well with this Draisaitl because they are each from the first year of the release of the particular set that they are from. So this is the inaugural Allure set, just an amazing card. I was drawn to this one because I love atomic refractors, or cracked ice, as they're known in the world of Panini, or apparently as they're known in the world of Upper Deck, quartz parallels. But regardless of what you want to call it, this same technology that I first knew as an atomic refractor makes for arguably my favorite parallel in the world of sports cards, and got this Draisaitl at an absolute steal. Those of you that collect him, I know my buddy Brian over at Walkenbach is a Draisaitl guy. He's just so underpriced compared to his talent level on the ice. So believe it's been a while now since I picked that up, but I want to say quite confident that that was less than $10 to add that to the collection. So nice Draisaitl there. And then the final card for today is a buyback card that'll be evaluated for my buyback Franken set. It is a Heritage box topper from this past year, 2021, a card that I have always wanted to get in buyback format. It is not a superstar, it's a simple common, but I think it's one of the coolest cards of the 70s for that, just because of the photo, honestly. And it is the 1972 Topps Billy Cowan with the Angels. It's pretty self-explanatory why this is an absolutely fantastic card, and it is that positioning of Billy in the photo relative to that halo in the background is just absolutely perfect. This might be the greatest Angels card ever made, in my opinion. It's just as far as aesthetics go and the photograph. I have a copy of this in my, vintage baseball card PC from the 72 set, but have always wanted to get a buyback version of this card. It's been years and years that I've been collecting and searching out buybacks. Had never seen one until just a few weeks ago. This popped up as a buy it now or best offer. Went back and forth with the seller for a little bit and was able to bring this one home, I think for about $6 or $7. Some of you may think that's crazy, but this very well may be the only one of these out there. There are no announced print runs for the buyback projects over time from Topps, but I've looked, I've searched high and low to try to find one of those, and to get that into the collection for well under $10 shipped was a huge win for my buyback collection. So that one will be evaluated for the Franken set at the conclusion of the video here. And the rest of these will be filed away, including Randy Johnson, who will go next to Griffey in the shiny baseball card Z-Folio. So again, huge thank you to RJ for that very thoughtful Randy Johnson card. Thank you to all of you who stopped by and spent 10 minutes listening to me gab about cards and recent pickups. I truly appreciate it, and I will be back in the very near future with some more sports card content. Until then, take care, everybody.